Have you ever heard of a ship so massive it could swallow an entire fleet of smaller vessels, and yet one day it simply vanished without a trace? No explosion, no SOS signal. 100 years have passed since the Cyclops disappeared, yet the ocean still guards her secret. But what if the truth isn't buried? What if it's been hidden? Scene 1. The Search, renewed. In the late 20th century, new technology gave humanity a chance to look where it never could before. With sonar mapping, remote-operated vehicles, and deep-sea cameras, explorers returned to the Bermuda Triangle, determined to find the Cyclops. The first official search began in 1968, led by the U.S. Navy's Oceanographic Office. They used sonar to scan a 200-square-mile area east of Barbados. The results were shocking. Several massive metallic objects were found lying deep beneath layers of silt. But when divers descended, the shapes were gone. The sonar echoes had vanished. Scene 2. The Government Files. In 1984, a declassified set of Navy documents revealed something curious. Multiple internal memos referencing Operation Cyclops recovery. The operation, conducted in 1948, had attempted to locate the wreck using classified magnetic anomaly detectors, equipment originally designed to hunt submarines. The memos confirmed that an object of considerable size was detected approximately 180 miles north of Puerto Rico, yet the coordinates were blacked out. The report ended with one line: "Survey inconclusive, further investigation not recommended." Why was the U.S. Navy, 30 years after the disappearance, still looking for a ship they had long declared lost? Scene 3. The Diver's Discovery. In 1997, two civilian divers, Jim Saunders and Robert Keller, announced they had found a wreck off the coast of St. Kitts that matched the size and shape of the Cyclops. They released photos showing a rusted hull, a massive central keel, and markings that appeared to read CYC. But before they could confirm their find, a storm struck the area. Their dive boat was recovered days later, equipment missing, one diver unconscious, the other never found. The coordinates of their discovery were lost with them. Scene 4. The Ocean is Not Empty. In 2008, a private research team from the University of Miami began scanning deep sections of the Atlantic Ridge. At a depth of nearly 16,000 feet, they discovered a massive metallic anomaly, roughly 540 feet long. The sonar image looked like a ship resting upright on the seabed. When their ROV approached, instruments malfunctioned. The video feed cut out. When it returned minutes later, the object was gone, replaced by a swirl of sediment. The sea had swallowed its own evidence once more. Scene 5. The German Theory. In recent years, historians uncovered a theory linking the Cyclops to secret German operations during World War I. Some believe the ship may have been captured, not sunk. The idea stems from newly discovered naval records, intercepted transmissions between German U-boats referencing a large American collier redirected to a secret harbor in Brazil. However, no such harbor was ever found, and no surviving crew was ever seen again. Still, it fueled speculation. Did Cyclops fall victim to enemy hands, or to something much older? Scene 6. The Magnetic Rift. Oceanographers studying the triangle have identified what they call a magnetic rift zone, a region where Earth's crust is unusually thin. This allows magnetic waves from the planet's core to interact directly with the surface, potentially disrupting instruments and communications. In 2010, a NOAA expedition recorded unexplained bursts of electromagnetic energy in that same region, exactly where Cyclops was last tracked. Some believe these bursts could warp navigation, distort sonar, even scramble electrical systems, just as survivors of later incidents described. Others whisper of something stranger, a gate, not of metal or stone, but of physics itself. Scene 7. The Data They Can't Explain. In 2016, a team of scientists using autonomous submersibles collected data showing sudden spikes in gravity readings over the triangle, as if something massive was beneath them, moving. The readings lasted only seconds before returning to normal. Some dismissed it as equipment error. Others were less certain. One scientist, speaking anonymously, said it was like something was there, watching us, and then it wasn't. Scene 8. The Unrecorded Expedition. In 2018, a private expedition funded by a technology billionaire set out to locate the Cyclops using advanced LiDAR and magnetic mapping. Their vessel, Endurance 2, transmitted live data for 6 days before abruptly going offline. When communication was restored 48 hours later, the crew refused to continue. The ship's captain reported severe disorientation and unexplained interference. The mission was classified and its results never released. To this day, no one from that team has spoken publicly. Scene 9, the pattern of silence. Every attempt to find the Cyclops ends the same way. Silence, confusion, missing data. It's as if the mystery protects itself. For over a century, the U.S. Navy has refused to reopen the case. Their official stance remains unchanged. USS Cyclops, lost at sea, cause unknown. But the documents, the anomalies, and the whispers tell a different story. Scene 10, the truth beneath. Perhaps the truth is simple. The Cyclops sank, swallowed by the sea. Or perhaps it crossed into something else, a place where time and gravity don't play by our rules. Whatever happened, one fact remains unshaken. The ocean remembers. It never forgets. In our final chapter, we'll look beyond history and science, into the human heart. What drives us to keep searching? What makes us stare into the unknown, knowing it may never answer back? The sea may not speak, but its silence tells a story of its own. Time passes, names fade, but the sea remembers everything. For over a century, the USS Cyclops has slept beneath the waves, unseen, unheard, and unanswered. But her story has never stopped moving. Like the tide, it returns, again and again. Scene 1, the families who waited. In Baltimore, where the Cyclops was built, a memorial still stands. A small marble plaque inscribed with 309 names, sons, fathers, brothers, each one swallowed by silence. Every year, families still visit, leaving flowers, seashells, and handwritten notes that say, "We still wait." Many descendants have passed down stories of dreams where they saw their relatives calling from a distant ocean, of hearing knocks on their windows during storms. For them, the mystery is personal. The loss never ended. Scene 2, the wait of a century. More than 100 years later, Cyclops remains one of the greatest unsolved maritime mysteries in history. No wreck has ever been confirmed. No human remains ever found. No message, no distress call, no goodbye. And yet, her legend endures. Every generation finds her again. In books, in television specials, in late-night radio whispers. She has become the symbol of the ocean's power to erase and to remember. Scene 3, the echo of lost voices. In 2019, a group of deep-sea audio researchers studying underwater seismic data near Puerto Rico recorded faint, rhythmic pulses. The patterns repeated every 11 minutes, too regular to be natural, too deep to be modern machinery. When analyzed, the sound pattern bore an uncanny resemblance to the frequency of 1910-era ship engines. Some of the scientists half-jokingly labeled the signal Cyclops 1918. It was likely coincidence, but coincidence has always been the language of the Bermuda Triangle. Scene 4, the human obsession. Why do we chase the Cyclops? Why do we still search for answers that the ocean has long taken away? Because her story isn't just about loss. It's about the human refusal to accept mystery, the need to understand what lies beyond our maps. Every expedition, every sonar ping, every diver who descends into the deep, they're not just searching for a ship, they're searching for meaning. Scene 5, the science of faith. Scientists tell us that everything in the sea eventually surfaces, that nothing stays hidden forever. But faith tells us the opposite, that some truths are not meant for the surface. Perhaps the Cyclops didn't sink. Perhaps she slipped into a place between realities, a quiet corner of the ocean where time stands still. The universe, after all, is stranger than we can imagine. Scene 6, the deep remembered. In 2021, a multinational expedition scanning deep trenches near the Caribbean ridge found something unexpected. A faint magnetic field anomaly stretching nearly half a mile long, shaped eerily like a ship. When asked if it could be Cyclops, the mission director only smiled and said, "If it is, she doesn't want to be found." And maybe that's true. Maybe some stories aren't meant to be solved, only told. Scene 7, the legacy of the Triangle. The Bermuda Triangle continues to draw explorers, scientists, dreamers, and storytellers. To some, it's just a dangerous stretch of ocean. To others, it's a doorway, a reminder that the world still has places where mystery reigns. Every culture needs its myths, and the Triangle, with its vanished planes, ghost ships, and unexplainable lights, is our modern mythology. It reminds us that no matter how advanced we become, there will always be things we cannot see, cannot measure, cannot know. Scene 8, the eternal voyage. If the Cyclops still exists somewhere beneath those endless waves, then she sails eternally, not as steel and rivets, but as memory, in every sailor who fears the dark horizon, in every scientist who points their instruments toward the deep, in every storyteller who dares to ask, what if? Her voyage didn't end in 1918, it continues, carried by those who still remember her name. Scene 9, closing words. The sea that took her is the same sea that holds us all. It humbles us, teaches us, and in the end, takes us back. The USS Cyclops is gone, but her story, her silence, and her shadow remain. And so long as people whisper her name, the sea will never forget.